How did you kind of think about the world that way a little bit? You're like, I know this guy pre-COVID, it's crazy. This guy, pre-COVID, he's a great guy, he's a great friend, he just absolutely is obsessed with sharing the truth. I would argue he's the first guy to explain the corruption of the PCR test, the first guy to explain the corruption of remdesivir, which, by the way, if you want to die, and I know you don't, but if you want to die, go to the hospital and ask for remdesivir. Remdesivir is a drug patented by George Soros in China that causes renal failure. Ask for a side of midazolam, that's a breast suppressant that'll kill you, and that is the COVID protocols. And the first guy to call out the corruption of the COVID protocols, the PCR test, and many other nefarious things that are part of this medical, industrial, pharmaceutical, industrial complex. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand here and greet my good friend, Dr. Brian Ardis, all the way from Texas. Yes. Howdy, y'all. Hey, y'all say hi to my two kids, too, that came with me. They're over here. Sierra, Blaze, stand up. All right, they came to visit. Well, hello, Detroit. Great job, Clay, once again. Thank you for all showing up. I hope you all can see the screen. If you can't, I'm going to talk my way through it anyway. And if you can't see it all, because I went back there to see, those screens are small, and I have a mission. My mission is to make sure you know what the truth is, because you've all been lied to. All right, so Clay had me come on his program the other day. I had him come on mine last week, and we discussed something. The first slide he put up, he goes, oh, I got to show this article. It was from Newsmax, and it says, the bird flu, 100 times deadlier than COVID. So, I only have 15 minutes. If you've seen my documentaries, they're like 3 hours. I've been asked to speak 6 hours straight sometimes. This is only 15 minutes. So it's going to go fast. It's going to be quick. But I want to make sure you guys don't fall for this. They're already announcing that the bird flu could be the next pandemic, and that's ridiculous. All right, so I'm going to show you how ridiculous it is, and then hopefully you learn something. You want to learn something? Okay, good. Here we go. All right, if you didn't attend it, you need to scan this. We had our first virtual ever Healing for the Ages virtual conference last week, or Memorial Day weekend. If you didn't see it, you better get it. After the Healing for the Ages first conference in September, I decided to have 4 guys with me, or 3 other people with me, to do a conference in September. These were individuals who all over the last 4 years and even farther back always clinically used God's nature to cure people of illnesses, no drugs, vaccines, surgeries, you name it, as much as possible. So I invited them to come and be a part of what was called Healing for the Ages. It was a massive success. And then out of the funds, we actually purchased over $100,000 worth of what are called echo microscopes, and only NASA and pharmaceutical companies own them. And we showed at this conference what's happening to the blood simply by being exposed to your cell phone, simply exposed to 5G radiation, and how it is they're creating blood clots in your body with this stuff, just with radiation. This is why the 5G towers were so important. Then we showed you how to physically negate all of those issues in your blood live in 1 minute. And it didn't even take a supplement. And it's free. We're going to show you how you did it, and God designed it all. It's amazing. If you didn't watch it, I don't know if you didn't see this. Did you know they actually tested this? They put a cell phone in a man's pocket, and they wanted to know what it does to the sperm in his testes. And they figured out it created DNA damage, so much so, over half of the sperm couldn't even attach to an egg if it wanted to, and half of them couldn't swim anymore within 30 minutes. You might want to remember this infertility agenda we talk about. Okay. Do you know that they actually tested to find out, well, what happens when a man puts it in his pocket, a cell phone, and he has metal zippers or a ring or keychain in his pocket? How those metals magnify the toxicity to your reproductive organs for both females and males? That's the kind of crap you're going to get from Healing for the Ages. So I just give that to you. If you didn't get it, you might as well get it. I'm going to let you know where you're going to learn this stuff. All right, so here's some real basic truths you need to know about the bird flu. And every time they announce another pandemic, I'm going to come out and warn you again and educate you again, but this one's absurd. All right, so bird flu, let's just run through real quick so you know what you need to know. What to know about the latest bird flu outbreak, this Associated Press. Let me just show you here. I don't know where this is going. Oh, that's going backwards, or forward. Hold on. This is what you need to know. Somebody in Michigan, a farmer, got sneezed on by a cow and got the bird flu. Oh, but that cow also got sneezed on by a bird. Remember, this is a respiratory virus, so birds are sneezing and coughing all over the planet. But only 2 people, and one in Michigan, one in Texas, had a cow sneeze or cough on their farm worker, and they didn't have any respiratory symptoms, only it got in their eyes. Crazy. All right, the bird flu virus that they're talking about today, that's what's up on the screen. I want you to see this. What they're talking about, they have known about since 1959. The same one. It's called H5N1. It's the same one today. It's called avian influenza virus, H5N1. Everything you need to know, you're about to get it right here. You don't have to worry about nothing. Since 2020, the virus has been spreading among more animal species. Check this out. Birds, coughing and sneezing, respiratory virus. Read this. It includes dogs, cats, skunks, bears, seals, and porpoises. Now, you have to think about this. They think you're so stupid that you will believe that when a porpoise comes to the top of the ocean and blows out of his blowhole and then inhales, there's a seagull right over him coughing or sneezing into that hole. It's the only way it would happen, people. Please don't fall for this crap. And then you put I guess they should make a blowhole mask for the porpoises. Those work. All right, they're killing tens of millions of chickens. This is all a food resource crap, just so you know, to destroy your food. All right, now listen to this. Newsmax just published last week, this bird flu, the same one they've known about since 1955 or 59, is 100 times more deadly than COVID. But I want you to read this. Read what Associated Press the week before said. There have been only 2 cases in the U.S. and neither were fatal. Oh, then there was a guy in Colorado who got it, but his only symptom was fatigue and he recovered. The good news is, thank you, Cohen, new CDC director. We've known about this for years and we've been planning for 20 years to be ready for this one. Of course you have. All right, now, this is a quick summary here. I got to give this to you. How do I know you don't have to worry about this? This is brilliant. In 2008, this story comes out on CBS News. Egypt, the country, has disappearing chickens. Now, what they were disappearing from is they actually vaccinated 25 million chickens for the H5N1 virus. Did you hear me? Vaccinated with a safe and effective drug, vaccine, 25 million chickens. Guess what happened to the 25 million chickens? 100% of them died. All right. Now, 100% of them died, but I need you to read this statement here, okay? If anybody out there is scared, worried, falling for this crap about the bird flu, I need you to know what they know is the way you get the bird flu as a human. It's on the screen. The only way humans get this is by inhaling the blood, inhaling the feathers, or inhaling powdered feces of poultry. Raise your hand if you've done that in the last 3 months. There's one. Scoot over, whoever's next to that person. All right, now this is very important. I'm going to run through this quickly. If you ever want any of my presentations so you can actually either yourself understand the research in a way that's easy for you to follow, because science is not easy for most people. For some reason, God made it easy for me, and I don't know why. Until COVID. Then I got excited. All right. True or false, remdesivir is safe and effective? Who taught you that? Yeah, you're welcome. True or false, bird flu is 100 times deadlier than COVID? Who just told you that? Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Now, the people in 2008 who vaccinated 25 million chickens and they all died, supposedly of the bird flu, it was a 100% failed vaccine. In 2013, this is what they're publishing in the science literature, what they are going to do now in Egypt to see if they can stop the next wave 5 years later of the bird flu going through Egypt again. Because they'd almost wiped out all their poultry and meat reserves for the Egyptian citizens. The same scientists who made the failed 100% sucks vaccine decided to add something to those 100% they suck vaccines, and it was a plant extract from a seed that God gave us on the earth. And they said, if you press the seed and get the oil, let's put that oil of that seed inside the failed vaccine. We'll call it an additive. The word is adjuvant. And let's see what happens when we vaccinate all the chickens again in Egypt. This is 5 years later. In 2013, they added a black seed oil called Nigella sativa oil, and it had a 90% success rate just being vaccinated with the failed vaccine contents. That seed oil God made outperformed the entire vaccine. Why even have the vaccine? Just give them the oil. You know what I mean? All right, I'm not reading that whole thing. I only got 15 minutes, remember. You want this stuff? You go to the Dr. Ardis Show and get it. I've got all the PowerPoints there for you. You just download them. They're free. Why? Because you're being lied to. Somebody's got to tell you the truth. Oh, my God. Okay. This is Nigella sativa oil, known as black seed oil. That's what it looks like under a, I don't know. You're not going to see that under a microscope, but that's how chemists draw it. That's what it is. This oil is that effective. Now, I just want to tell you something. Nigella sativa oil is so powerful it raises two things. It raises these big immune cells called macrophages that eat all bacteria, virus, and cancer cells, even HIV-infected cells. Nigella sativa oil raises the amount of those in your body naturally. It also raises what are called T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes kill all cancer cells, viruses, bacteria, fungi, you name it, and bird flu. Just so you know. God put Nigella sativa oil, black seed oil, on the planet for you and I and all the birds and porpoises for just such a time as this. But he also put inside of you cells that actually defend your body against everything man's creating and subjecting you to. That's what you don't know. How many believe God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and knew that this day was coming when men would be lying to you and spreading poisons throughout the air, water, food, injected into your food, injected into your babies? How many of you think he knew that was coming? He gave you an immune system to handle all of it. In fact, this Nigella sativa oil is so powerful it'll eat every bacteria, these cells called macrophages. And if we can play this, God, I hope this plays. Can you hit play on that button? Okay, watch this. The big white cell is a macrophage. The green ones are HIV-infected cells. This one macrophage, God gave you each 3 of these infected HIV cells all by itself. This is what Nigella sativa oil does. It increases these cells' ability to kill and wipe out even HIV-infected cells. How cool is that? By the way, Dr. Ardis did not make macrophages. God did. Oh, and macrophages were not brought to you by Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson or Gilead or Fauci. The second thing, Nigella sativa oil, I'm just highlighting here, it raises T lymphocyte counts. Did y'all know that Nigella sativa and lymphocytes kill, and destroy cancer cells in your body? Raise your hand if you've ever heard of cervical cancer or known somebody who was diagnosed with that. You ever heard of that? Okay, good. We're going to flash through this. Hit play. This you got to watch. The big cell at the top, the big one, is a cervical cancer cell. The 2 little like Mickey Mouse looking ears things are the T lymphocytes God put into your body. Watch what it does to this cancer cell. And this is what black seed oil elevates, those little bitty cells. Watch what it does to this thing. It's about to destroy the entire cell membrane of a cancer cell, cervical cancer, and it destroys it all. Brought to you by God. Pretty amazing, right? So if anybody ever tells you your body can't defend against cancer or HIV, who told you? Who showed you? Actually, it wasn't me. It's YouTube. I got this off of YouTube. No, I didn't do it. All right, so they vaccinated these people with Nigella, or these chickens. Anyway, all the chickens lived. I gotta go forward here, because y'all just gotta see this. All right. Wait, how much time do I have left? Like 4 seconds. Can't even see a clock back there. All right, in veterinarian world, I need to show you this. Okay. Most of y'all probably listen to me going, what in the world is Nigella sativa oil? And that's okay. I don't need you to remember that. Because I'm about to show you something that was published during the pandemic about avian influenza virus, this bird flu. Imagine this. During the COVID-19 pandemic, researchers are wanting to know what's in the literature that God gave us as plants that totally destroys the bird flu. Why do you think they were researching that while you're on lockdown? Who do you think's funding these researchers to do this work? All right, oil extract from Nigella sativa oil is suitable as additives in bird flu vaccines. They're referencing here during the COVID-19 pandemic from 2013. Second sentence, the herbs also improve the host response to the vaccination, which 100% sucked. Administration of this oil on 14 days after being infected with the bird flu. Stimulated those little bitty white cells that killed the cancer cells and macrophages to kill the virus. Now, all three of these God gave you. Brought to you by God, now by Dr. Ardis. Ready? In the research paper during the lockdown, they actually highlight, I put in a red box here, Nigella sativa oil, known as black cumin seed oil. Look at that. Beats the virus species column, you'll see, second to the left. Avian influenza virus. They're only talking about H5N1. But I want you to focus on the other two things. The first thing is green tea leaves. Did you know you could just drink your way to no bird flu and destroy the pandemic by drinking green tea? Make sure it's organic. Don't add a whole lot of sugar because sugar suppresses your immune system. But now you don't have to be afraid. You've got Nigella sativa oil, which is actually a very common supplement. You've got green tea that's available everywhere. But check this out. Did you know virgin coconut oil beats the bird flu? All right. How many medical doctors are screaming at you? Just make sure you go get your virgin coconut oil, get your green tea leaves, and make sure you get some Nigella sativa oil. How many are telling you that? Are they telling you a vaccine? They're going to tell you a vaccine. You don't need it. Just so you know, I released a month ago without even knowing this was going to come up for the bird flu. I just started doing a lot of interviews. I just released this product. The very first ingredient is Nigella sativa oil. It is the highest concentration in there. I had no idea it was for the bird flu. This is for a lot of other things. It actually kills every known bacteria that's pathogenic or causes diseases inside you. That's why I made it. Bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, Klebsiella. It also wipes out all Candida and fungus. That's why I made it. You want it? Scan that and it'll take you, let you know when it's in stock, if it's not already. Y'all better scan this. It's coming. I waited till after the pandemic was over. This is going to educate you on what you missed, hopefully what you saw once I educated you and the rest of us did, and what you need to know about the next one's coming up. COVID-19 Live is coming out at the Healing for the Ages Conference in September. And then this, if you want any documentation, if you don't know how to spell Dr. Ardis, to get to the website where there's free actual presentations, that's what you scan. And oh my God, for the love of God, all things natural healing will be presented at Healing for the Ages 2.0 in September. We only launched this about 5 days ago. We're already half out of all of our tickets for in-person seats. It'll be in Dallas, Texas. Come hang out with me for 2 days. Also, we're going to have teenagers actually present. My daughter and my son are going to be two of them. And we're going to educate the medical profession, all scientists and attorneys, why they're struggling with depression and suicide and what God's resources are to combat it. I'm Dr. Ardis. God bless you. I love you. Grateful for everything you're doing. And thank you, Clay.